So hi everyone, today I'm here with Shelley Stockwell and I am so honored to be sitting with you, sincerely. I'm just, you know, your energy is just so wonderful, I'm overwhelmed.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean it.
Thank you.
You are my hero. Because it's not often that we see amazing people in hypnosis or NLP that are powerful women like you and are as transparent as you are, and I totally look up to you.
Oh.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Well, you know, hypnosis is a wonderful profession, and we call it hypnosis because we're hip and we gnosis everything. So, you know, anybody watching this knows that there's a part of them that's wise beyond wise, that they're very much the master of who they are if they'll just wake up, tune in, and, you know,
Yes.
be who they are. And so,
Yes.
you know, it's some people say, well, hypnosis is like magic, but it works like magic.
Yes.
But it isn't magic. It's just waking up to the silly trances that we've been put into that aren't working.
Yes.
So a lot of us are in reality tunnels based on our childhood, like our parents told us this or that about ourselves, and we came to believe it, and then we re-hypnotized ourselves with self-talk.
Right.
So I just wrote a book called Wake Up, Who's Secretly
Yes,
Hypnotizing
tell us
You.
about that.
Well, it's all about this. Wake
Yes.
up, who's secretly hypnotizing
Yes.
you, and what to do about it.
Yes.
So there's the hypnosis of religion, the hypnosis of parenting, the hypnosis of politics. Boy,
Right.
we've had a lot of that lately.
TV and stuff, eh?
Yes.
Radio.
And of course, advertisers spend a lot of money to make
Yes.
sure that you're clearly
That's
hypnotized to buy stuff you may or may not really need.
Right.
So what I do is I'm dedicated to waking up myself in a waking up world, and I think we are waking up. I think more and more people are starting to know who they are and their truth rather than a truth that somebody told them was so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like really is a shift going on. I can feel it energetically. And I know that there's a lot of talk about 2012 and all of that great stuff that's coming.
I don't believe it. For a minute, I don't believe it.
And you know, that's the thing, is that everybody's got different ideas.
Yeah.
And I haven't really taken one on board, but I can feel something
Well, I
happening.
think something's coming, something is, I don't know what it is, but it is going to be grand.
It's going to be good.
And it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And, you know, this idea of the gloom and doomers, I'm sorry, that's
Yes,
been around
yes, thank you.
forever.
Yes,
And I'm pretty up to here with gloom and doom.
Yes.
I think that's hypnosis, it's negative hypnosis, it's fear generating.
Love it.
And I don't believe it for a minute.
Yes.
I think this world has been around ticking well for a long, long time.
Yes.
And I think we're going to be
Definitely.
just fine and dandy, and you can call me silly when the world collapses around me, but I don't believe it.
Well, you know what? I think like if that were to happen, wouldn't you have had a great time here?
Absolutely. And why would you sit here and worry about what's going to happen when, you know, your whole life you've been told? I mean, I remember I planned a trip to Egypt. I took a group of people to Egypt.
Oh, wow.
And there was some guru who was going to come and be a presenter with me. And he was some guy from South America who was the master on the Aztec calendar.
Okay.
And it was 2000, and he wasn't coming because the world suddenly was going to come to an end.
Stop
He checked
it.
it out,
You're
and so he
joking.
canceled. He said, I can't come because my calculations show me that the world will come to an end. And so he didn't come, and another lady, Mary Bontempo, and I went. We took a group of 25 people to Egypt, and we came back and we said, so what happened? How come the world didn't come to an end? And he said, I miscalculated.
Yeah.
You know, it was so miscalculated.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
since the beginning of time, there's been doom and gloomers, and I just don't buy it.
And I love it. Thank you very much for saying that, because that's my truth too. Let's talk about you as a hypnosis writer, and a legendary hypnosis writer, and also teaching other people to get out there, tell their tale, make some money from their talent, and educate other people with writing books. Can we talk a bit about that? Because you've written many books.
Yes.
How many have you written?
I've written 14 books.
Yes.
And they're enlightenment books.
Yes.
They're how to master your mind and be a mind master, I
Yes,
guess.
yes.
A mastermind. So basically anyone can write a book.
Yes.
And the best book that you would write would be something based on what you know well.
Right.
And since this is, I live and breathe hypnosis, I know it well. I'm a poet. Number one, my first 2 books were books of poetry.
Yes.
They were love yourself poetry.
Yes.
So I can do one for you.
Yes, please
Okay?
do.
It's called
Yeah.
Insides Out. I'm going to tell everybody out there, okay? When I was just a weeny thing, a sweet song I could sing. It had no tune, it had no word, it had no sound that could be heard, but it came from way inside of me. It lifted me soft, and it floated me free. In my quiet waters I would lie, and my beautiful song would float me by. And then, before I learned to think, my river became polluted like the kitchen sink. Rules of what were right and wrong silently swallowed up my song. How to smile, how to please, how to bring men to their knees. Now, I struggled hard to learn it right, not to question, not to fight, not to be where I wasn't invited, and never behaving less than delighted. But ever so silently slipping on by, I would feel my insides sigh, oh my insides in warm light, every bit alive, awake, and high, flushed with the orgasm spasm of my joy. I'd return to those rights and wrongs that I had learned. And thus it was, and so it seemed. My moment of song was some faraway dream made by some goblin in some faraway land where tales they tell are always grand. But then again I exploded like a sack of duck down again and again and again. So finally, I stroked each feather one by one. I did not leave, deny or run, I stayed. And I invited the me inside to tea. Now it was a warm and sunny room that day where we had our tea and decided to stay. The sun was bright, the shades were drawn, and in the corner of the room, I felt a song. It had no sound that could be heard. It had no tune and it had no word. And I had no choice but to go along. You see, the song was me. I was the song. In my quiet waters I will lie, and my beautiful song will float me by. That's what I write about.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
And I'll tell you what, I felt that and understood that completely, as I'm sure everybody else did too. And I appreciate that so much. Do you speak your poetry in public?
I do, all the time. And I make up songs and I sing them. I sing them loudly, off key, but I don't care. And you know, bottom line is everyone has their own song.
Yeah.
And everybody sings off key perfectly. And everyone has something to say.
Yes.
And so if it comes to writing a book, write what you have to say.
Yes.
And then ask yourself, if I read this, would I be interested in reading it? If you are, you've already written a great book. And the right audience will come to that great book.
Now, that's fantastic advice, but I'm reminded of something that was said a little bit earlier here at the Hypnotherapy Convention, in that a lot of people believe they don't know enough material to get out there and write a book. And this is what prevents them, do you think? Or
Well, I mean, haven't you seen little itty bitty books with just a few pages, and they're really wonderful children's books, or you know, the 3-minute manager books or whatever.
Perfect.
You don't need a lot of words to write a book. You just need to put down something that means something to you. And you might need some help in laying it out or getting it printed or whatever, but today you can print things on the internet, you can share it through your website. There's so many ways to get your thoughts out there, and believe it or not,
now,
you are a writer.
Yes.